What's up, guys? It's been a little over a month since my novel Thermonuclear Mirth was published by Aruka Press, and I'll never tire saying how awesome Aruka Press is, sincerely. And their editor-in-chief, Alex Barbas, the guy is the absolute man. He is the kind of editor's editor, an author's editor, an old-school FSG, New York City, golden age of publishing type guy. So check them out, arukapress.com. It's where you can find this book. You can get it at basically anywhere online. You can get it Amazon, Barnes & Noble. I've even seen some of these like You've Got Mail massive bookstores in large cities that purport to carry every title under the sun, and they have it. And that's cool, but I would go check out arukapress.com. I'd go to the source directly and check out all the other wonderful offerings they have, and it's a lot. I feel very lucky that this is the third book I've done with Aruka Press now. They put out my Hippo Lectures in December 2023. It's largely nonfiction essays that were first live talks given to an audience. Then in April 2024, they put out a novella of mine called Seraphim and the Dust Plague. And I'm super pumped that I predicted this because not too long ago, at the end of September 2024, there actually was a massive dust storm in Moscow, Idaho, and there's a video of that on this channel, courtesy of Lars Lundstrom, the incomparable genius Lars Lundstrom, who took that footage. And so an actual dust plague, and I predicted that more than a year ago, because I gave that talk like in April 2023, and then Aruka put out the book in April 2024, and now Thermonuclear Mirth, a book that I've been working on for 15 years, that despite being my fifth book, is really kind of my first book that I ever started working on. But as you can see how large it is, 897 pages, maybe even 900. It's like 896 or 97 labeled. And then the author's bio at the end takes you to that, 900. It took a long time to complete, an absolute labor of love. I've said many times, I have another novel already finished now, and a second one almost finished, that maybe I'll start, putting through the process of getting ready to be shipped out, that kind of stuff. 2026, 2027, whatever. Even if I were to write 15 or 20 books in my life, God willing, I don't think I'll ever surpass Thermonuclear Mirth. That makes me very, very happy. It feels very good to feel like, however good it is or not, that's not for me to say, right? We're either too much on our own team, like, it's so great, or we're too negative towards ourselves. So I can't judge how good it is or not, but I do think that it is certainly like my magnum opus, if that can be said. that can even be said accurately. Over the course of this time, before it was published in August 2024, Thermonuclear Mirth appeared in many different places, small excerpts here and there. And, what is the book about? Well, it's set in the year 2100, and it's a futuristic America, but it's not like science fiction nonsense. None of that nonsense in my book. 2100 in America, but the way that it might actually be. And in many ways, it's a very dark book. It's kind of dark comedy. It's a dark, maximalist, absurdist comedy. It sounds ridiculous to say a nuclear war comedy, but kind of. But there's a huge subtext of absurdity throughout the book, and that's the excerpt that I'm going to be reading you today, which appeared in the 2020/2021 like winter-spring issue of the Nashwack Review. What I'm going to do is read verbatim this short story, and then kind of transition into reading parts from here, because the excerpted part of this short story appears, of those 900 pages in Thermonuclear Mirth, towards the latter third of the book, like page 600 something. What I'm going to read to you today is part of that absurdist subtext. This guy founds this school called SWAL, this independent think tank school in the New Mexican desert. And that's the abbreviated name. I'll read you the full name when I read verbatim from the short story. But he's like, I want to get Americans to out-stupefy themselves with consumerism. I want them to buy products that are so dumb, so stupid, so vapid, that they finally realize I'm an idiot and I should search for higher things in life. I should have this kind of conversion reversion experience, trying to search for things that are more true and the ultimate truth, because I just bought a volume of dog poetry and I'm an idiot. And a lot of these products that I'll read for you from this excerpt are in that line. The protagonist of the story, again, in a very, very dark novel, gets very, very serious at the end. I don't want to ruin it for anyone. And of course, if you're like, oh yeah, right, dude, you're just saying that you don't want to give it away and ruin it because you want us to buy your book. Yeah, I want you to buy my book. I have no problem admitting that whatsoever. Are you freaking kidding me? Yeah, buy the book. But before it gets very, very serious and all that, this protagonist guy had gone off to this school. He had studied dog poetry, and we're going to hear from the commencement at the school. He, the main character Ben, is not there at this point, but the president, this guy Guadalajara McMickelson, is going to be like talking about the whole school and all this kind of thing. And then at the end, they're going to read some of these final products that SWAL puts out. Again, they put them out in order to mock American society, to get people to actually, yeah, I'll do next day delivery, click and buy. Oh, I'm an idiot. Maybe my life sucks. Maybe I really am a moron, and I should search for more serious stuff in life. So that's what you're going to hear from today. I'll read verbatim from the Nashwack Review once more of the story. Stop and be like, okay, and at this point, and then just read some of the final products from Thermonuclear Mirth. Because once more, the story is taken out of the novel. So it's a small piece that I'll read from what appeared in that literary journal, and then give you kind of the larger context. So grab a drink, sit back and relax, and enjoy. Commencement at East Southwestern, South Northeastern, West North American University of the Arts and Logic, Sky Desert Outpost, New Mexico, on a picturesque high blue sky, cloudless, windless, warm May weekend afternoon. The cream of the crop, President Guadalajara McMickelson says, extending his index finger and holding it there to underscore, to accentuate his emphasis on a point now made 3 or 4 times in what are supposed to be brief introductory remarks. You, he nods twice. You are the future, yes, but even more importantly, the present, the cream of the crop. Men and women of SWAL, do you understand your mission? Each and every one of you has received the best training this university has to offer. Allow me an indulgence, I beg you. Allow me to ruminate over this with you. Each one of you came here green as grass, wet behind the ears, tenderfoot and puerile, jejune and crude, callous specimens of great potential or lacking it. Unsophisticated in the ways of the world and of this world, this very special world, tenderfoot, one and all unripe, unfledged. But that was 6 years ago. And what a 6 years it's been. I know. I've witnessed it with my own eyes. Your journey began at many farms. All of you began there, the rich and the poor, the beautiful and the ugly, the fit and the fat, the sleek and the slothful. Some of you came with talent, in others it was hardly detectable. Idiots, morons, losers, and the politically involved. These and many more have passed through many farms as starting gate, but that's not the last word, is it? No. Oh no. All of you who completed this journey traverse were instantly, as if overnight I do declare, transformed into something new, a nova anthropoid, no question. Far be it from me to try and capture the unique essence of this initiation. Allow the immortal words of one of our own to ring in your ears. Guadalajara McMickelson pulls a folded yellow piece of paper from his coat pocket and begins to read. Did I mention the Thunder Spider hallucination series? So apparently one night near the end of the traverse, the midnight sky breaks loose in a nightmarish dream reverie of rolling thunder as loud as 10 times 10 hillbillies, with 1,000 firecrackers on 4th of July in Yale County, Arkansas. And lightning strikes so majestic and bright that it's quite near the opening and closing of the refrigerator door. dark to light, dark to light, dark to light, instantaneously. And then one time, during one of those phosphorescent shimmers of effulgent light, you, drenched in a West Texas-like waterfall of rain, see right there by your feet this absolutely beautiful large spider. Normally you regard spiders to a 1/10 tick below arachnophobia on a personal fear register, but here, out here in the primordial desert, drunk on exhaustion and exhilarated like never before with the combination of lightning and rain and thunder. C'est la fête de la agonie de tonnerre. He refolds the paper and returns it to his pocket. There is nothing so effective a leveling agent as la fête de la agonie de tonnerre. Should past ages come to life and witness it firsthand, they with their countless divisions, economic, social, racial, sexual, intellectual, I dare say they would be utterly dumbfounded at the perfect and perfectly clean way in which the ST can transform one from a former citizen of the United States of America into a new citizen of a new land too new to even be coined with that old term, the New World. Transformed, but not arrived. A finished product still in progress. That was you 6 years ago. Each and every one of you, the very cream of the crop, have become athletic specimens, whether or not having lived up to the lofty goals of perfectionism or not. I will tell you I am proud. Proud to be the presidential paterfamilias of 580-kilo deadlifter and a 104-yard football thrower. Even if you can't read a defense to save your life, or read, period. Who cares, I say. You have a cannon, and for that we all commend you. Proud to be presidential father of 2 girls, biological twins, and how fitting, who can run sub-10 one-minute meters. And let us not forget the many others, the 13-foot hoop dunkers, the 8'8" high jumpers, 3 minutes and 20-second milers, the sweet swinging bats and rackets, the endurance, the power. Above all, I'm proud of that, the raw, as if summoned by a king from the deepest recesses of the most forgotten parts of a desert-type power. If athleticism was your only laurel, you'd still be as you are, the very cream of the crop. But hardly so. Hardly so. We have in our very presence writers and orators of the highest caliber. Do you remember, my dear children, the faces of the literati establishment when one of our own, and at a no doubt precocious age of 23, won the Nobel Gates for her remarkable collection of short stories? Do you remember their faces? Their eyes, that's what I mean. The deer in the headlights, just seen a ghost, just wet my pants, wait, I'm not wearing any pants. Because of my utter shock system overload shutdown, forgot to put them on. I really need to pass rickety old outhouse gas expression in their eyes. It's not just you, Penelope. Although you have our kudos, yes, my dear girl, be assured of our everlasting gratitude and undying devotion to your every written word. No. It's not just you. What of the facial expressions, with once more detailed attention paid to eyes of pundits when learning that another one of our own, Mr. Beauregard Lincoln Washington Frederick Douglass Lee, I'm looking at you, was selected to give the NEH's esteemed Jefferson Lecture, and no less precocious than Miss Pennyback, you, Mr. Lee. A psycho-political analytical treatise of the pros and cons of osculating donkey was the title. Ah yes, the one and same final project, the best-selling book. Do you remember, my children, that one television host's impossibly priceless reaction when she understood that such a nuanced and deeply researched account of sycophantism in American presidential campaigns was purposely pretentiously entitled A Political History of Kissing Ass, and that donkey was placed there not simply as a synonym for one's hindquarters, but also because the study largely focused on the late Democratic Party in America. Do you remember? But not just athletes and orators, writers and poets. How, I do beg you consider, can one any longer be impressed with mere poets when we have canine translators? It is true that we have historians, chemists, diagnosticians, polyglots with near native fluency in what I've been told is near 35 languages, doctors, civil medical engineers, landscape architects by the truckload. I mean no insult when I say that here in this new world you are a dime a dozen. It's not a mark against you, but a credit to us, this place, for its near assembly line efficiency and production of pure and wild and deliciously strange talent serving societal needs in ways previously unthought of, unheard of, unimaginable, down to the severest degree of anti-pression girth of predictability concerning potentialities and possibilities. But, you see, we do not just provide for society's needs, we enlighten society as to needs not yet known. At that point in the story, and that point in the book, the president has this massive coughing fit, and he's escorted off stage, and this dude comes on, who also was a product of the school, who's a very, very famous actor in 22nd century America, and he gives the commencement speech, and he finishes out, and the president comes back on, and then for the historical record, some of these final products that the graduating class completed of that year, which again is not the class that our main protagonists are a part of. Ben is the main character. His job coach is Hans. He's also a guy who went to SWAL. They're not involved in this graduating class, but every graduating class every year, in order to indeed complete this 6-year program, has to have a final product that both completes all the requirements of their in-house studies and also is put out onto the great American market. So I'll read you some of the final products from this class, and along with the profit that was made. Some of them are wildly successful. The record for money made on a project is this guy who invents a beer butler. You take a beer bottle and you squeeze the midsection really hard, and the bottle pops off. No more worrying about finding a can opener or doing that thing with your wedding ring. Beer me a butler. Gets him $30 million. A lot of people get $0. Their products absolutely suck. You be the judge. Here are some final products from the SWAL class of that year. Back massage robot, Craig Crick. Product description: a 4-foot-tall stainless steel robot whose batteries must be removed and charged to full every 72 hours, whose only purpose is to stand behind you on command and scratch and touch and titillate and just plain old massage the living go-get-it out of every inch and ounce and centimeter of space on your back, your shoulder, your calves, your thighs, your bis, your tries. Profit: $4,000, 82 cents. Country music lyrics generator, Barley Belfast. Product description: we will sell you these actual titles and song hooks. Without buying our product's permission slip, which allows you to take up to 5 options per month at $123 a month, you cannot touch them, and should you use them, we'll sue you till the cows come home. Carly, I done sued my ex till the cows come home is actually a real lyric that you can buy. Other examples include, but are certainly not limited to, y'all, 'cause in life, all I need is my dogs, my frogs, cold beer, and algae on the fishing hole. Hightail him back across the Mason-Dixon line. Hightail him back across the Mason-Dixon line. Hightail him back across the Mason-Dixon line. Baby, why am I that kind of guy that makes girls cry? Ain't no changing who I am, friend. Grandma done raised right a southern gentleman. Biloxi by the bay, Nolans by midnight. Preacher's son, farmer's boy, knew the Bible by heart and not to take brother's toy, holding doors for women and the stars and stripes high for Uncle Sam. Profit: $50,000. Vet kit on the go, Cecily M. Pullman. Product description: for those times you can't get your dog, your cat, your horse, your gerbil, your armadillo, your parakeet, your hamster, your fish, your Rottweiler to meet to my office. You may not be a professional, but desperation makes all of us adrenaline-drenched overachievers. Deliver a horde of puppies roadside on I-95 in a rainstorm, and I promise you, you'll think more highly of your capabilities in all walks of life afterwards. Profit $34,000.99. $34,400.99. Text speech to burn. Crawley Barney. Product description. Everyone knows the famous story. Iowa caucuses so many years ago. Alan Wilson was down in the polls by 17 percentage points. 2 candidates in between him and the front-runner, William Redulit. 2 days before voting, Wilson turned to my grandfather, his campaign manager, and, hands raised high, begged for an idea, any ideas. My grandfather, Trump Barney, told him to go for the jugular, tell everyone, the Idaho voters, what they, deep down inside, felt about Redulit. 4 hours later, Wilson had written the immortal words that propelled him to a stunning victory in Iowa, the momentum of which captured the party nomination and the presidency that same year. It was my grandfather who set these words into the impossibly creepy, yet hilariously robotic and monotone voice of a text-to-speech engine blossomed into a robocall for all times that was to quickly disseminate full blast throughout Iowa this message, the following, on that fateful night. William Redulit is a tool. Do not vote for him. William Redulit, I'll say once more, is a tool. Not a literal tool. Not a wrench, a hammer, a table saw, not pliers, not something you can find at Myers, the hardware store. Not hardware, though it's hard to bear, his very presence. What a clown. What a loser. What a toolbox. What a... Wait, guys. Wait, everyone. Guys, hold on. Why are we wasting our time talking about William the Tool Redulit? Family businesses, apples falling not far from trees. This is what we, political consultants extraordinaire, do. We are Wilson and Barney rolled into one. We design the amazing truth-to-power mudslinging slogans, put them to text-to-speech, then put you in that seat you're running for. Ask yourself, do you want to be a gentleman, a lady, or do you want to win the election? Did you hear that pause? Yeah, that pause was you thinking. At that point, we already got someone else elected. Profit $99,822.20. Lip gloss hair curler. Annabelle Carmen Carmelita Esperanza Altavilla. Product description. Who doesn't like a 2-for-1 deal? Our harmonica lookalike product is actually a hair curler lip gloss dispenser hybrid personal styling amenity. We won't even ask you to think of the time you'll save because it's obvious. Be careful, however, when making the transitions between gloss and curl. Too much curl when glossing, and to say you'll have scalded lips is an understatement. Too much gloss when curling, and you might as well switch out the shampoo for Elmer's glue when showering. Otherwise, enjoy. Profit $49,001.80. No, it really is just a toilet this time. Zara Noor Khan. Product description. A 2,000 plus page guide to modern, postmodern, and avant barnyard house art. Illustrations and detailed critiques included. Profit $9,333.90. Room to breathe. Melanie Crud. Product description. Smog is so last century. True, but still, are you one of the people who neither inside nor outside can ever seem to avoid, inevitably, smelling something foul? Forget that. How about just wanting a little airspace to yourself? Well, no need to get on a crowded and foul-smelling jet. Come to us and purchase your air by the hectacre. We sell side to side, up and down, even below ground or bottled synthetic air options. What for? For shame. For breathing like you've never breathed before. We guarantee that once you buy a few hectares or two, your lungs will be so happy they might just grow gills as a personal thank you. Profit? Not applicable. $0. Various government agencies forbid even the advertisement of this product. Claiming that it was not just misleading, for the purchaser would be left to his or her own devices when it came to keeping the airspace clean. For example, what to do if one bought a bunch of air in some random field, but nearby some people like to burn leaves and tires and such. But one could not sell air for the simple reason that no one could own it in the first place, much like trying to tax the sun, moon, or even distant stars. The Unbearable Burden of Freedom. Hans Miller. Product description. You've heard a lot about what East, Southwestern, South, Northeastern, West, North American University of the Arts and Logic is and what it does, and ultimately what it's all about, I'm sure. I'm equally sure a lot of your presuppositions, prognostications, and outright peripheral guesses and ganders around the bush fall between a less than 1% to greater than 1% to less than 99% spectrum of analytical readout formulations. Forget it all. Just for a moment. Yes, this place is special. Yes, it is unique. Yes, it has brought back all the elements of what was once called a classical education, classically Christendom Middle Ages theological course load, and tethered these two to a finest and most fine-slicing, cutting-edge business and entrepreneurial tricks and techniques of our current age system. Yes. We really invent ingenious products that then, many of them, become well-selling products in the great American free market. But listen, this school, the East Southwestern, South Northeastern, West North American University of the Arts and Logic, is really about this and only this: the unbearable burden of freedom. Unbearable because once you realize that you do have free will, you do have the freedom to choose what to do with your life, and that you must indeed either fulfill or leave unrealized this talent, this potential, your gifts, and that there is no one who can do it for you. Yeah, right. Voitu was right when he said that man is non-transferable. No one can do it for you. You've got to do it. You've got to realize freedom means the freedom to understand and then choose and act in accordance with the right. And that's it. That after that, there is nothing more than that. That's the unbearable burden of freedom. So free, we applied for and were granted a special dispensation to make a second final project. This, yeah, that's freedom. Freedom in action. And so here's what we do. Every day, every single day, 3 times a day, in line with the old Angelus praying 6 a.m., noon, and 6 p.m., we send you a simple message in whatever media form you like. We send you the unbearable burden of freedom. Those 5 words, italicized and bolded, nothing more, nothing less, because, and you already know, the rest is up to you. Your life, that's up to you. Profit, $20,039.16.